Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's son Maddox files to drop Pitt from name. Maddox Jolie-Pitt is 23 years old now. He was adopted from Cambodia in 2002 when he was 7 months old. He was Angelina Jolie's first child, adopted before she and Brad Pitt were together, before Brangelina was a word anyone used, before the family that would eventually include 6 children became one of the most photographed units in celebrity history. He has reportedly filed legal paperwork to remove Pitt from his name. If the filing is completed, he will be Maddox Jolie. That is not a small thing. It is the kind of decision that requires standing in front of a legal process and stating, formally and on record, that you want to sever the nominal connection to your father. Not just emotionally, not just privately, but in the name you carry and the documents that define you legally. He is an adult. He does not need anyone's permission. But the decision lands in the middle of one of the most public and protracted family legal battles in recent celebrity history. And the timing, along with everything that is known about Maddox's relationship with Brad Pitt over the past several years, makes it impossible to read as a neutral administrative choice. The breakdown between Maddox and Brad Pitt became public knowledge in 2016. That was the year of the now-documented incident on a private plane traveling from France to Los Angeles. Brad Pitt and Maddox, who was 15 at the time, had a confrontation that escalated to the point where the plane made an unscheduled stop. The FBI and the Los Angeles Department of Children and Family Services opened investigations. No charges were filed. The investigation was closed. Brad Pitt issued statements expressing commitment to his family and to doing the work required to repair what had happened. But the family did not repair, at least not in any visible way that has made it into public record. Angelina filed for divorce shortly after the plane incident. The divorce proceedings have dragged across nearly a decade, generating ongoing litigation over the family's winery in France, Chateau Miraval, and custody arrangements that have been contested at multiple points. Maddox, for his part, gave an interview in 2019 in which he was asked directly about his father and responded with the kind of flatness that says more than an elaborate answer would. He was studying biochemistry in South Korea at the time. When asked if Brad would visit him there, he said, "Whatever happens, happens." He was not the only Jolie-Pitt child to distance themselves from their father publicly. Zahara, the second child adopted by Jolie and Pitt, from Ethiopia in 2005, was photographed wearing a sweatshirt from her sorority at Spelman College in 2023 that read Zahara Marley Jolie, not Jolie-Pitt Jolie. She had not made a formal announcement. She had not issued a statement. She was just wearing a name. That photograph circulated widely because the omission was obvious. If it was deliberate, and it is hard to read a sorority sweatshirt as accidental, then 2 of the 6 Jolie-Pitt children had, in different ways and at different moments, made a public gesture toward the same conclusion. Brad Pitt has spoken carefully about his family in interviews since 2016. He has described the estrangement from his children as the thing that has caused him the most pain. He has talked about sobriety, about therapy, about trying to understand the ways he failed as a father and as a partner. In 2022, he gave an interview in which he said he was grateful for his children even as he acknowledged that some of those relationships were in difficult places. He has not directly addressed Maddox's reported name change in any verified public statement. What he has said consistently, across multiple interviews over multiple years, is that he hopes for reconciliation, that he is not giving up on those relationships even when they are not responding to him. Whether that hope is being communicated through channels that his children are receiving, or whether it remains primarily a thing he says to journalists, is not something the public has access to. Maddox is the oldest. He has also been, in the years since 2016, the most present in coverage of this family's fracture. He attended the custody trial in 2022. He was listed as a potential witness. His presence in the legal proceedings surrounding his parents' divorce placed him default as an adult, squarely inside the formal machinery of a dispute that had shaped most of his adolescence. Being the oldest in a large family during a painful and public parental separation carries specific weight. The older children often become reference points for the parents, for the media, for the younger siblings trying to understand what is happening. The choices the oldest makes get watched differently. Text. Maddox's choice, if the name change filing is finalized, would be watched very differently. Legal name changes in California, where much of this family's legal activity has taken place, are a matter of public record. A petition is filed, a court hearing is scheduled, and unless there is an objection that rises to the level of a legal challenge, the change is granted. Brad Pitt could theoretically object. There is no indication that he has or will. Objecting to an adult child's decision to change his own name would be an extraordinary step, and the optics of that step would not be favorable to him in either the court of law or the court of public opinion. More likely, if the filing proceeds, it completes quietly, and Maddox Jolie moves forward with the name he chose without a hearing that anyone attends. What the name change represents, if it is what it appears to be, is a conclusion, not a statement made to the press, not a comment in an interview, not a photograph of a sweatshirt that might be interpreted multiple ways. A legal document, signed, filed, processed, and permanent. At 23, Maddox Jolie-Pitt was adopted before his parents were together, grew up at the center of one of the most photographed families in the world, was present for the moment in 2016 that broke whatever was left of his parents' marriage, watched the legal proceedings that followed stretch across nearly a decade, and has now, reportedly, decided that the name he carries into adulthood should reflect the parent he has chosen to remain connected to. He has not given an interview explaining this. He does not owe one. The filing, if it stands, is the statement. And the statement is the kind that cannot be walked back or reframed by a publicist. Maddox was adopted as an infant. Brad Pitt adopted him legally when he and Angelina Jolie were together, which means Pitt is his legal father in the same formal sense. He is the legal father of the biological children he and Jolie share. The name Pitt in Maddox Jolie-Pitt was not inherited by birth. It was added, formally and intentionally, as part of the legal construction of their family. Removing his last name is the reversal of that construction. Not a dramatic gesture made in anger, not a press statement. A quiet legal filing, processed without cameras, that says everything Brad Pitt's team cannot spin, his lawyers cannot challenge, and his publicist cannot soften. The court date is set, the paperwork is in, and when it comes through, Maddox will walk out with a name that has exactly one parent in it. Will Angelina and Brad's other children follow suit? Is this an indication of Angelina's efforts to alienate the children from their father, or was Brad Pitt really an exceptionally horrible dad? Who knows? Right now, we can only follow the developments in this case. For more, please subscribe and keep watching this space.